So if you're working a 9-to-5 job in tech, then this is the best method to triple your income overnight, even if you don't have much experience at all. And I'm going to guide you through the 4 steps to getting there without working more hours and without investing any of your money. And yes, all of that without selling you an online course on drop shipping, crypto trading, starting an agency, none of that. And even though the thumbnail might look like an exact ripoff from Iman Gadzhi or any other internet guru out there, I can assure you there's one big difference between them and me. They, all these young millionaires, all got successful before they got stuck in the rat race. Unlike me, who first had to work at a regular IT job for like 6-7 years before I could eventually escape that 9-to-5 life. But I did manage to escape the 9-to-5. I went from working in an office for 40 hours per week to quitting my job, traveling the world with my fiance, and building out my own creative business. And all of that through the method I'm about to share with you in this video. And it's the same exact method I shared with Albert, a data analyst that used to make $65K per year and almost tripled his income to $160K per year, all while working a day less per week. And to actually prove to you that I'm not just talking bullshit, because people do seem to have a hard time believing all of this. In fact, some time ago I uploaded this video where I said why I quit my $170K data analyst job. And how to put this nicely, people were skeptical. So for the first time in human history, I'll show you my income statements before I use the method to triple my income and after, just to prove all the doubters and the haters and the skeptics wrong. No idea why I'm doing this, fuck it. So this is my income statement from 2018 when I was working at Heineken as a data analyst. And as you can see, my gross salary, so my salary before tax, was almost 5K at the time, which almost adds up to 60K per year. And just 2 years later, now you're looking at my income statement from 2020, I earned almost 170K in profit that year. So I basically ended up earning more than most CEOs by working less, by not investing any of my money, and by leveraging a skill I already had. And I'm 100% convinced that anybody can do the same by following these exact 4 steps. Step 1. Figuring out what not to do. You see, most people in tech fail to earn more than 15K a month, not because of the things they don't do, but because of the things they do. They do the wrong things if they want to earn more while working less. And it's always the same 3 paths I see tech professionals take, they think they should take to triple their income. The first path is climbing the corporate ladder. I know it's the most obvious one, but it's also the most dangerous one. Why? Well, because it always ends up in the following 2 scenarios. The first one is, you work your ass off and you get a 2, 3, 4, 5% annual increase of your salary. But with the average inflation of the last couple of years, that means you're losing money every year because your salary isn't increasing enough to compensate for the high inflation we're having right now. And then there's the second scenario where if you work your ass off even more, maybe if luck is on your side, you get to get a promotion to become a manager or maybe even a senior manager. But first of all, you need a bit of luck because there's a whole team fighting for the same position as you are. Next to that, you have to work your ass off and prove your worth of becoming a manager. So there's gonna be years of working hard and sacrificing your free time to even get there. And once you do, once you have the luck on your side and once you sacrifice enough free time, you do become a manager. And then what? You get a nice company car and you get a bit of a higher salary per month, but on top of all that, you'll get more responsibilities. You'll get more stress. You'll sacrifice a bit of your mental health to become a manager and a senior manager. Because trust me, I'm talking from experience, being a manager is a very stressful job. It means working overtime almost every day. It means being in meetings almost every day. It means taking responsibility for your team. And it means, again, sacrificing a lot of your free time to fully dedicate yourself to your job, to the company. So I mean, yeah, if you want to earn a bit more money by sacrificing a lot of your free time and mental health, then you should go down that path of becoming a manager, of climbing the corporate ladder. But I'm telling you, there's a much better path where you can triple your income, you'll have the money, by working less, so you'll have more time, and I'll get to that in a bit. But first, the second path tech professionals take that they shouldn't take. Path 2, investing for retirement. Now, don't get me wrong, you should invest for retirement. You should set some money aside for your older days. But I'm not talking about retirement how most people talk about retirement. You see, most people see retirement as like an end goal in life where you finally get to enjoy the fruits of all your labor. Now you can explore the world in your golden years where you don't have any job and you have some income streams. But be honest with yourself. Do you really think you're gonna explore the world and go on adventures and do all the things you wanted to do in life when you're 70 years old? Are you really gonna go scuba diving, climbing mountains and driving motorcycles through deserts and whatever, when you're most likely probably gonna sit in a chair or lie in bed all day thinking and regretting why you didn't grab life by the balls when you were still young and had all the energy? But okay, there's another option. If you play your cards right, if you invest your money wisely and you spend your life living very frugal, you could retire already in your 60s or maybe even your 50s. So you can still have the energy and health to enjoy your retirement at a relatively young age. And it sounds good on paper. In fact, there's a whole movement on Reddit called FIRE, Financial Independence Retire Early. And they all push the fact that you should live a very frugal lifestyle, spend as less money as you can, and invest most of your money so you can retire a bit earlier. But basically that means you almost have to live like a homeless person right now for the next 10, 20, 30 years so you can kind of enjoy your retirement when you're 50 or 60. Does that sound exciting to you? Does it sound nice that you can't travel the world right now? That you can't go out to nice dinners with your wife, parents, friends, that you can't take care of your parents? You're not allowed to live in a nice house. You're not allowed to drive a nice car. You're not allowed to pursue any expensive hobbies because that's money you could have invested in an index fund that might have saved you a couple of months. Does this sound like a good life to you? To me, it sounds like a fucking nightmare. I don't want to think about every single cup of coffee I should or should not spend. That's not how I want to live life. I want to have enough money so I can do all those things I enjoy. I'm not talking about buying expensive watches and flying private jets. None of that materialistic stuff, but just enjoying a nice life and spending it on things that matter to me, that honestly and genuinely make me happy, like traveling the world. And there's a great book on this exact topic called Die with Zero. The book goes in much more detail on how to actually get the most out of life right now. So let me end it off with a question. Would you really want to work your ass off for the next 30, 40 years, invest all your money, don't have any free time to spend with your friends, family, hobbies, not have any money to do cool things, travel the world, so that you can maybe eventually retire and then start living your life? Or would you rather just create a life where you don't need to retire from at all, that you enjoy doing what you're doing so much that you don't even want to retire? The choice seems obvious, right? Build a life you don't need to retire from. And even though most people agree with me on this, they take the wrong path to achieve this. They take a path where 9 out of 10 people hit a dead end and they end up not changing anything in their life except for wasting a lot of time, energy, and money. I'm talking about path number 3, side hustles. So what I mean by this is tech professionals that try a side hustle next to their full-time job in the hopes of getting good enough at it to replace their 9-to-5 income with their side hustle income. And I'll give you an example. So people try crypto trading or forex trading or stock trading in the hopes of getting so good at trading that they can earn enough profit to sustain their lifestyle purely from trading so that they can quit their job. But do you know how much luck is involved? Do you know how many years it takes to actually get good at trading? Do you know how stressful it can be when you see your net worth plunge with 20, 30, 40, 50%? And then there's these other side hustles like drop shipping, e-commerce, or starting an agency or whatever. Now, yes, it's definitely possible to earn money with drop shipping, for example. But do you know how much time and effort it takes to get good at dropshipping in such a saturated market where you're competing with the whole world? Everybody's dropshipping nowadays. Everybody has a web shop or doing something with e-commerce. That's time you have to put in next to your 9-to-5 job. But the most important thing is it's boring, hard work. Dropshipping isn't sexy work. So what? You're gonna replace your unfulfilling 9-to-5 job with another unfulfilling job? But hey, at least you can do it from your laptop from anywhere in the world. Yeah, you'll solve one small problem, but you're never going to earn 15K a month through drop shipping by working less and by not investing any of your money first. Because remember those 3 metrics: time, freedom, energy? By focusing on a side hustle, you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of your time again, and you'll have to sacrifice your money first that you might or might not earn back through your side hustle. So it's not risk-free. I'm telling you, there's only one opportunity that can get you to 15K a month in the fraction of the time without investing any of your money up front. And I'm going to share with you in the next steps, which takes us to step number 2, knowing what you should do as a tech professional. Now, here's what you want to do as a tech professional. You want to choose something that can triple or quadruple your income practically overnight without working more hours, that's not costing you any money at all while basically being risk-free. You want to choose something that allows you to earn 15K a month without spending years learning a new skill or side hustle by leveraging the skills you already have. And you want to choose something that gives you more resources like more money and more free time so you can create a life of freedom where you don't need to retire from at all. And that something is what I call freedom freelancing. But there's a big difference between freelancing and freedom freelancing. Because trust me, I've been there. I've tried freelancing before. You see, back when I was working my 9-to-5 job, I already knew from the start, there's no way I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I'm not going to sit in an office at an unfulfilling job, at a soul-sucking job for the next 30, 40 years, surrounded by unambitious colleagues, annoying managers, working for a company that treats you like a number. There's got to be more to life than that, I thought. There's so much to see in the world. There's so many adventures I want to go on, explore the world, build my own businesses, do cool shit with cool people. But I don't have the time for that. I was literally stuck in the rat race. But the thing is, this 9-to-5 life really got to me, to the point where I was kind of depressed. I wasn't really depressed, but I was feeling miserable about this life because my days would look like this. I would wake up early in the morning, had to commute for 1 hour, spend the next 8 hours in meetings or sitting behind a screen, talking to managers, the commute back for 1 hour, and I would be so drained, my energy would be so low by the time I arrived home that I could just drag my ass to the gym. That was like one of the highlights of the day, and the other highlight would be getting back home and watching a Netflix episode of Narcos or whatever was hot at the time. And that's literally what my life looked like. The highlights of my days were going to the gym and watching TV. And then on the weekends, I would kind of compensate for this miserable existence by going out with friends, drinking, going to festivals, just to escape from the fact that I didn't want to confront this miserable life, but it hurt. I was feeling so miserable, low and down, that I eventually did start trying all types of side hustles and projects and whatever. I tried setting up a blog about virtual reality, wasn't successful. I started this video editing platform, wasn't successful. And I tried freelancing. So I tried these small projects in the evenings and on the weekends. And even though I ended up earning a decent amount of money extra next to my 9-to-5 job, I had to sacrifice the evenings and the weekends to get that extra money. So I was sacrificing my freedom to get some more money. That's not what I wanted. And it wasn't until I stumbled upon this guy who I view as a mentor, who's now a good friend of mine, who opened my eyes to the idea of freedom freelancing. He basically taught me step 3 of this method, which I call the freedom freelancing formula. And the freedom freelancing formula consists of identifying, attracting, avoiding, earning, and detaching. Let me explain. First of all, identify. You need to identify your hard skills because otherwise you won't be able to know your value in today's market. You won't know how much to charge as a freelancer. You won't know if you have enough experience for those skills. Now I'll take Nout as an example, who I shared this method with as well. He was a fresh graduate and he was basically a data scientist without any professional work experience. Yet he landed his first freelance project within 4 months because he identified the skills he had and he knew how valuable he was in the market. But you also need to identify your skills because if you're working a 9-to-5 job right now, there's a big chance your employer has given you a job title. And usually it's some kind of funky, cool, sexy sounding job title. Like for example, when I worked at Heineken, I was called an IT performance consultant. But when I identified the skills I actually had, Power BI, SQL, and Python, I figured I'm actually a data analyst. I don't care if they give me a very sexy name like IT performance consultant. You know what? I'm going to change my LinkedIn profile so it says I'm a data analyst because I had the skills that a data analyst has. So when recruiters and potential clients look for me on LinkedIn, for example, they would use the term data analyst and not IT performance consultant. Which brings me to step 2, attract. People highly underestimate the power of LinkedIn. Basically, you can optimize your LinkedIn profile in such a way that it becomes a magnet to recruiters, freelance projects, potential clients. But the thing is, most people don't know how to do this on LinkedIn. 90% of tech recruiters, when looking for freelance tech professionals, use LinkedIn as their search engine. And LinkedIn is a search engine, so you want to do search engine optimization, LinkedIn SEO. You want to be in the top results when people look for data analysts or whatever your profession is. So basically, by tweaking your LinkedIn profile, you can become a magnet to opportunities. And let alone the fact that if you know how to write engaging posts on LinkedIn, for example, you can attract so many eyeballs to your post and therefore your profile. And I'll bet your ass some of those eyeballs are potential clients and recruiters looking for freelance tech professionals. But most people don't know how to use LinkedIn properly. And this brings me to step 3, avoid. Avoid the 3 L's. Lack of knowledge, laziness, and lack of community. So lack of knowledge, knowing all these tips and tricks on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile or where to find the highest paid freelance jobs, but also laziness. So maybe you do know how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, but you just lack the execution. You're lazy, you're procrastinating. Maybe you know you should apply to this freelance job, but you're just not doing it because it's not hurting you enough yet. And then there's lack of community. Most successful freelancers get their projects through their network, the network that they've built up. So if you're not building up your network, if you're not maintaining your network, you're not going to get the highest paid freelance jobs. Now, step 4, earn. Basically, once you start working your freelance project and you earn a decent amount of income, that's where you start earning money and investing money, which brings me to step 5. Now you can focus on detaching your time from money. So as a freelancer, you're still always trading your time for money, meaning you can never make passive income. You'll always have to trade your time for money. But step 6 is all about detaching your time from money. That's when we talk about building a business you actually like, building a life where you don't need to retire from, whether it's solopreneurship, side hustles you actually like doing. Maybe you want to build an app, write a book, create a movie, start a YouTube channel, whatever it is. Now you have the capital and the resources to actually start focusing on the last step, detaching your time from money. And that's the freedom freelancing formula. So now you know the exact same steps I took to become a freedom freelancer. And it's the exact same steps Oliver took to land his first contracting job, earning him more than $20K a month, working 100% remotely from anywhere in the world. And you can do the same thing. Now I know you may still be wondering, okay, but how and where do I actually find those high-paying freelance projects? How do I optimize my LinkedIn profile for SEO so that recruiters can reach out to me and find my profile? How do I determine my hourly rate? How do I always have new projects and clients lined up so I never have to worry about not having a project? How do I set up my company as a freelancer? How can I build a community with freelancers and recruiters? And how can I use freelancing as a stepping stone to a life of freedom? And that's why I launched the Freedom Freelancing Mastermind, a mastermind that helps tech professionals create a life of freedom through freelancing. A mastermind that gives you access to a 6-week program that teaches you the fundamentals of freelancing. So how to determine your skills, how to determine your hourly rate, how to sell yourself to clients willing to pay the highest prices for your expertise. You'll learn how to optimize your LinkedIn profile for SEO so you have a constant stream of recruiters reaching out with high-paying projects so you don't have to look for jobs yourself. You'll learn how to write good resumes, you'll learn how to prepare for freelance interviews, and you'll learn how to set up your company as a freelancer so you pay the least amount of taxes as legally possible. And you'll learn how and where to find remote freelance jobs so you can work from anywhere in the world. Now, the mastermind also gives you access to expert mentors because no matter what you learn, you'll always have questions. So pick the brains of real freelancers and experts in your community. So that means weekly live calls with me, weekly live calls with other coaches, and most importantly, you will get access to live guest lectures given by freelancers, recruiters, and solopreneurs themselves. And since recently, you'll have direct access to tech recruiters from all over the world because tech recruiters are inside the mastermind as well. But now comes the most important part of this video, because I've been in doubt whether to actually share this with you or not, because there's such a huge stigma with online courses. And I get it. There's a lot of scams out there, but there's also this big gray area where this like YouTube gurus selling this dream, and if you buy my online course, you'll also become rich. But it's actually a pyramid scheme because the only reason they got rich is because they're selling online courses. And I didn't want to be one of those guys. I don't want to be a sellout. So I'll be 100% transparent with you. I have an online reputation. I have my YouTube channel. So I have something to lose. So the only reason I'm putting this out there is because I'm so confident in this product. The difference between those scammy YouTube gurus is that they're selling something that makes them rich. But I walk the talk myself. In fact, I've replicated the results in other people already. I've already coached clients that have already gotten the results that I showed you in this video. So I'm so confident in this that I'm willing to give you a triple guarantee. So here's how it works. First of all, you get to book a free strategy call where you can ask any questions you have. We'll also analyze your situation to see if there's actually a perfect fit. Because the first guarantee is we'll only work together with people where we're 100% confident that we can actually help you in the first place. The second guarantee is the stay until you're paid guarantee, which basically means you can stay in the mastermind for as long as you like. You can attend all the coaching calls. You'll get access to all the experts and recruiters for as long as it takes you to make it happen. So it's not a 12-week cohort or whatever where at the end we kick you out. You'll basically get lifetime access to the mastermind. And thirdly, the 2-week perfect fit. Basically, if you join and think, what the fuck is this? I've maybe overhyped the mastermind or overpromised on the mastermind. If within 2 weeks you think, this is not for me, this is not a perfect fit, you get your money back. You get a full refund, no questions asked. That's how confident I am in the value of the Freedom Freelancing Mastermind. But again, this is not for everyone. This is not for people who currently don't have a job or a skill they can offer. This is also not for people who are not willing to invest time, money, energy into themselves to take the next step towards a life of freedom. And this is also not for people that think this is some kind of magic money-making machine where you'll become a millionaire within 1 week. I'm not selling you a crypto trading course, I told you already. If you're looking for that, I'm not the guy. But if you're currently working a 9-to-5 job in tech or IT, so that can be data, cybersecurity, software, engineering, development, coding, whatever, you have at least 1 year of working experience and you want to finally take that step towards creating a life of freedom, then this is for you. So if you're interested in starting a freelance business so you can earn more money while working less and create a life of freedom, and you want to personally work together with me, then book your free strategy call by clicking the link in the description. It's basically a free 20-minute call to discuss your situation, to explain the mastermind in more details, and to see if there's actually a fit. Worst case, you'll have a free consultation call with one of the experts of our team. You'll learn something and walk away with some valuable resources. So book your free strategy call right now by clicking the link in the description. Cheers.